was this a good decision? And then hey y'all, it's Andrea reporting live from my faja. Today is my 3-week update. So I am just about 3 weeks post-op from my breast reduction and plastic surgery, all that stuff. As you can see, I got my lashes done. I basically needed to go do that because I have been going you can only look at 4 walls for so long before you're like just going stir crazy. So I went and hung out with my lash artist and just chatted and had to get a full set because if you've been following my videos, I had to let the lashes go prior to surgery, and I definitely was not able to travel or drive really up until now. So took a short little drive to go get my lashes done, and it's definitely making me feel better. I've been at home isolated for a while and energy just low. Energy is still low, but it doesn't take much energy to lay on a table and get your lashes done. So anyway, 3 weeks. I have gotten my faja. I've had this when did I get this? I think I got this past Saturday, so I haven't had it a full week yet, but I can definitely tell a difference already. I'll be doing a full video about the shapewear or like the compression wear and stuff that I've been wearing. This one is actually goes down into right above my knee. So it's pretty full. It's not easy to get on at all. Definitely need help with it. The first time that I saw it, I was like, oh no, she ordered the wrong size, but damn if she didn't get me into it. So, and it feels great now. It is tight, but I think with just all the swelling and the lumps and bumps and things that I was having this compression actually does make it feel a lot better. It's hard because it comes all the way up under this line, and so if you're sitting, you can't really, it kind of digs in if you sit. So for me, I'm still having to lay back. The whole laying back or laying on your back thing is driving me insane. I'm so ready to be done doing that, but it's going to be a while before I can switch it up. Every now and then I can shift a little bit to my side, but it has to be side and back because I still have the swelling here, which is why she chose the faja that has the big straps here, because it helps compress the sides, because that's where a lot of my swelling is right now. I still have really hard pieces back through here, and working with her doing the therapy has definitely helped and to break them up, but they're still there and they're still going to be there probably for a while. But every session that I do with her does get better, and I'll be posting follow-up videos specifically about the massages and the therapy and what we're going to be going through. One development that I didn't really notice before, but my posture is a lot better, but what I've noticed is I have this huge hump on my neck, and that is caused from years of having my chest pull my head forward. And so now, to counteract my head always being pulled forward or me always slouching forward, my body has formed this pretty little hunchback thing. So that's something that I am really hating, but I'm going to work on. That is something that you can fix through, you change your posture obviously, but you still have to fix this. So you can work with a chiropractor or a therapist or things like that. So that's something I'm going to work on. I was really thinking I wanted to cut my hair. And then when I saw that my side profile, I was like, nah, I'm good on that. We're going to wait until we get this nice and smoothed out. As far as week 3, I still have limited mobility with my arms. I can lift up, I can do this. As far when I put my hair in this bun, I just have to really bend down really far, and then it's not gonna be the prettiest bun. This is about as pretty as it's gonna get, because I just don't have the strength in my arms right now to hold them up, and I can't all this is connected. I can't, or this will swell up and it's painful. Just so yeah. This week well, not, this is my last week out, and on Monday I'll be returning back to the salon and start working. Um, I was pretty open with all of my clients about this surgery. And so, they kind of already know, but I am going to send out an extra email to them and just say, like, hey, we're going to be moving slowly. Like, my assistant is going to help with a lot of stuff, that kind of thing. If I could go back in time and change the way that I had things scheduled, I probably would have taken an extra week out, just because I've noticed that, well, number one, I have a job that is, you're very hands-on, very moving, up and down, like fast paced, that kind of thing. But also what I've noticed is I've only driven a few times. And like I said, that's normally for just like the massages. I drove and got my lashes done today, and I hated that drive because it was raining. People drive crazy when it's raining. But when you get back into driving, even when you have a little bit more of that motion, because all of this is sore and because all of this is swollen, you're like, and you need a pillow because you can't have the seatbelt just like sitting on you. So I actually used that, I have like a neck pillow that I had, and I kind of wrapped that around the seatbelt. I bought those little cushions that like slide on, but honestly, don't waste your money on those. Just use like a neck pillow or use some kind of small pillow, because those, the ones that like slide on the seatbelt, they're not thick enough, and all they do is like rub, and it's a pain in the ass to like pull the seatbelt in and out because it slides and all that. Just get the pillow. It's going to give you more cushion. And what I like about the neck pillow is mine doesn't have snaps, but a lot of them do have those snaps, and you could just snap it right on so it kind of holds in place, and it's enough like thickness that things aren't like bouncing here. But yeah, whenever you're driving, this motion is not fun at all. Like anything that's too up and down, like here, is not going to be good, especially like when you take a turn, it's like a wide turn, like it's not cute. So just keep that in mind if you're someone that has a very active job, or a job where you have to drive a far distance or something to get back to work. Whenever you go to schedule your appointment, like just think about that, because my doctor originally told me like 3 weeks. So I was like, okay, 3 weeks, I'll add an extra, 1 or whatever to be 4 total. Nah, I think it really does depend on your job. If you're somebody that is sitting at an office desk or whatever, and you can sit there and type, or you're working from home or whatever, yeah, cool. I'm sure, you might have even been able to do 2.5, but me personally, nah, I would tell you at least, schedule to do like 4 weeks if you have a job where, you're running around and moving. Because also one thing to keep in mind is any kind of motion up and down doesn't feel great either right now. All this is still really sore. I know I don't sound or like look as crazy as I was looking the first couple updates, but still, this is very up and down still. Like all it takes is, I swell up super easy. I'm glad that I have this faja, and I give credit to my massage therapist for helping me with this faja, for helping me with the massages. And that's why I've had as much progress as I've had. I definitely credit that to her. One other thing to consider is you're going to want to, well, at least for me, this has been an issue. I can't do much right now. Like if my friends want to visit, or if whatever, like the most that we can do is like eat or like hang out, but you can't just eat anything right now. You definitely can't eat a lot of things with salt content, and you don't want to do something to improve your body and then eat crazy. But for me personally, when I'm uncomfortable or when I'm like, kikiing with my friends, I just want to eat good food. So that's definitely been a struggle for me. I did not have an appetite at first, pretty much at all. And even now, like sometimes I'll feel super hungry, and then as soon as I get something, I'll take like a bite or two, and that's it. But just watching what you're eating. My therapist and I talked about switching to like more of like a keto type diet now. You definitely want to make sure you're getting all your proteins, like a lot more protein, all that kind of stuff. So that's part of my 3-week update. Yeah, so one thing that we talked about today was incorporating wood therapy, which you may have seen it floating around. I do have it's like a wood therapy roller. I'm not really using it intensely, but one thing I do to help with swelling whenever I do have a little bit of downtime, or like, I'm supposed to be wearing this spa basically 24 hours a day, but you could say 23 because obviously you got to take a shower. So whenever I'm like fresh out the shower and I got a little time, I want to like relax a little bit. You have to make sure everything is completely dry. So I still have all the bandages and stuff here. So I like to pat those dry and then let them air dry. So while that's happening, I use this little roller, and you can have your partner or your friend or whoever is with you use this, or you can just do it yourself. I've been using this a little bit on my stomach and my sides. But this is a tool that is, you know, in the whole wood therapy conversation. When you go to an actual therapist that's doing this, of course, they have a bunch of different tools and it really helps, but that's not something that you necessarily do immediately after surgery. That's something that you have to go, you can start transitioning into once you've had more time to heal and your skin isn't quite as sensitive. So that is something that my therapist and I have already discussed when we'll start being able to incorporate that. Right now, we're just doing like UV, some sauna, some of the sauna bed stuff, and then of course like lymphatic, and that's helped tremendously. That's where I'm at as far as like the healing process. Because I have this file on, I can't show it to you, but that part where I had that drain that I pulled out in my other video, that scar it's starting to close, but I already think that's gonna scar bad because it already looks pretty gnarly. That's the only one that looks gnarly. I have a couple other little holes, like so where my holes are, I have two at my hip, like right at my hip bone. I have one kind of below my belly button, like above the hoo-ha. And those ones for the most part have healed okay, except for where that drain is. It's healed, but it's dark. So I have a scar salve, and I'm gonna make a whole video about what I'm using, that I've already started with that. I also have holes here and here from where he did all the like back lipo stuff. And you know, a little bit like so it's like sides and a little bit of the back, excuse me. And those holes, this side has been a little bit better as far as healing. This one is still like scabbed up, and I've just been trying to keep all that area like moisturized and stuff, because that is where it gets super tight, super swollen, irritated really easily. So that's that. I'm trying to think what else. I feel like I needed to update you guys about yeah, one of the biggest things I've probably struggled with right now is just keeping a positive mindset. I'm someone that's usually like very go, go, go. Like I always want to be, I don't know how to sit still, which is a problem in itself. But this has really forced me to sit down and like chill. But for me, there has been a struggle of like, oh my God, like I'm wasting all this time. Like I'm not being productive at all. Like I could at least like, you know, write something or work on my website. But you can't right now. Like, and that's something super important to understand. Don't plan to be productive during this time at all, because you're not going to have the energy. You're going to be in pain. Like, don't plan to do any work stuff, like, until you are at least, you know, at that 3 weeks or whatever. The other thing that I think has been a little bit tough for me is just if you have to be alone during this, like if you don't have the first week, generally, you know, maybe you'll have someone stay like the first day or two or something. But like during this process, if you're healing and you're going to kind of be on your own, it is good to make sure that you have some friends to like check in with, because mentally, like everything is foggy, but it's also very easy, at least for me, it's easy to get in your head because this is all you can think about. Like it's tunnel vision. Like all you can think about is how tight the fa is, or how uncomfortable it is, or oh my God, like am I botched? Nobody that has I don't care what you say. Anybody that has had any kind of surgery, there's gonna be a point where you look in the mirror and you're like, wait a minute, like was this a good decision? And then there's other times you're gonna look in the mirror and be like, damn, like I'm a bad bitch, which that's just part of what it is. I don't know if a lot of people talk about that on YouTube, but it's just part of what it is. You're going to have up and down days emotionally. There's going to be some days where you're swollen and you're feeling like crap and you're just like, why did I do this to myself? And it's all this drama and tears, and then the next day you're fine. Like, it's just part of the process. And that's something that I've had to deal with, like not being too hard on myself. And luckily, like I have some dope ass friends that like say that to me. Like if I start getting into that, like, you know, downward spiral of, oh, this is terrible, my life. But I definitely see improvements. But it's tough though. And that's something that you do have to be aware of. Like, I think that even with me researching as much as I did and having friends that have had things done, a lot of this I wasn't necessarily prepared for, as far as, like I said, the mental, or even like with the whole recovery situation. When you see these chicks on like Instagram and so all these different social medias or whatever, it's almost like they make it seem like you're gonna snap right back. You're not gonna snap right back. Like, it's not. The recovery process is hard, because even like, I was freaking out about the main surgery. Like the surgery, the actual surgery the day of is the easiest part. You go in there, they knock you out, like you barely even remember going to sleep, and then you come out and the surgery's actually done. Like, it's the healing process that's actually been the hardest for me, for sure. Like, I don't know why, but I don't know. I think when you're first like researching this, you get so like hyper focused on the actual day, like what's gonna happen? Am I gonna have scars? But it's really important to do your research when it comes to what your healing process is going to look like. With my therapist, she said she would not want to see me without a faja on this often for about at least 3 months. So that means for 24 hours a day, or 23, whatever you want to call it, 23 hours a day for the next 3 months, I'm going to have this on. And so I think I had this rainbows and butterflies thing where it was like, ooh girl, I'm gonna get this surgery after 3 weeks, like I'm gonna be wearing whatever I want. I even like went as far as like already like ordering clothes, because I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be fine, whatever. My birthday is this week, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be able to wear this. No, you're not, because you're swollen. Like, for me, when I put on clothes, it's almost like, I don't know if I feel like I have that much of a size change at all, just because it's so swollen. Like, yeah, girl snatch right here, but it's so big, it's so swollen. I ordered these clothes that I was so hype about. Number one, I didn't have the energy to try them on, and it's almost like I did not have the strength to try them on, like physically. Like, you can't just pull stuff over your head, any of that kind of stuff. So just before you get excited, hold your horses, because number one, you don't want to spend money on stuff that is probably not going to fit yet. And also, you don't want to spend money on things that, even if they do fit, you're not going to stay this size because you're super swollen after surgery. That's one thing that I would have done differently. So I got a bunch of stuff I need to return because, you know, I went crazy. And even like when I first came home, and like when I finally started coming to, like my whole thing is I couldn't sleep for long periods of time. It was like 2 hours. I'd wake up, fall asleep, wake up, fall asleep, because for me, having the compression wear and having those kind of things, it almost makes me kind of a little bit anxious. Like everything just feels tight, can't move your arms. That was a thing for me. So I would like sleep, wake up, and then couldn't sleep anymore. And my sleeping is just completely off. But one of the things that I would do to pass the time is get on the computer and I'm like online shopping, because I think I'm about to be, you know, looking however. Don't do that. Just don't do it. If you are going to spend money on something, spend money on like cute ass pajamas, because the whole time that you're in your recovery, like that's what you don't want to wear. You don't want to wear real clothes. Like, and you really don't want to, like I said, anything that pulls over your head, you're not going to be wearing that anytime soon. And if you're someone like me who gets one of these big old fajas, like I thought I was about to be out here, you know, running these streets for my birthday. And like I ordered this bad like spaghetti strap dress. Honey, spaghetti strap where are you gonna put that? So that's not happening. So just be aware. Just be patient. That patience is key. Everyone has said that to me, but I don't know how to be patient. And it's not just like be patient for a couple days. You're gonna have to be patient for like a couple months. I'm excited for it's like towards the end of February is when I finally get to get the tape off. The tape is still like, it's super uncomfortable. You can't pull it off, and you cannot scrub this directly or like shower directly with this. You can't soak it in water. Like, you won't be taking baths, can't do any of that. And so you can almost kind of see it a little bit through here. The reason I have this faja like this is because this faja is, you know, it is a shapewear, but this isn't specifically made for if you had surgery. So with this closed, it's almost a little bit too tight. It kind of irritates my incisions. So I put the normal bra that I normally wear on for like padding, and then I just have it closed a little bit. The reason I want it to be closed though is because this is so swollen, I need that compression. But that's why you see me with like the double bra half open situation. As the swelling goes down some, I'll be able to close this more. My therapist was saying that she thinks probably within the next 2 weeks, we'll be able to get to the next rung on here. So that'll be good. Cause I'm telling you, I really didn't think this thing was even gonna go on when I first saw it. There's definitely a trick to putting it on. But yeah, so I think that is everything for my 3-week update. I know I rambled a little bit, but yeah, I think that's it. If you have any kind of questions, anything that you've been thinking about, go ahead and drop it below. I'm going to try, like I said, I've been saying this whole time, I'm going to try and be as thorough and as real with y'all as possible. So if you do have a question, drop it below. But other than that, like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And I will be checking in with you guys again soon. All right, bye.